Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode. Today we have another viewer request, kind of. The doc wanted to see Northern Saga Weather and Seasons up against Obsidian Weather and Seasons. So I couldn't do Northern Saga because the seasons only change once every 3 months in Northern Saga. And as you can see on the screen here, this is how long it takes to wait 24 hours, which is about 28 seconds. So I'd have to wait 28 seconds per day, an average of 30 days per month. To get through a 3-month period would have been 90 times waiting, and then obviously times that by 4 to get through a whole year. So I had to switch out Northern Saga for a new mod called Aequinoctium, something like that, and put that up against Obsidian. Here's the two mods here, Aequinoctium and Obsidian Weather and Seasons. Also, Northern Saga also uses the same seasonal pattern or algorithm as Obsidian, so I decided for those two reasons I would switch that out. But I've let you down because even though I waited about 90 days in this game to try and get a good amount of weather variations, I got diddly squat, if you'll excuse me language there, because I barely got any weather variations at all. So I just want to apologise going into this that it's not my most in-depth video, and if I hadn't have spent like 4 or 5 hours just trying to get footage, I would have completely abandoned it altogether. But here we're looking at Obsidian Weathers, and one of the main things, pretty much the only thing we're going to get out of this video, is to look at the atmospheric lighting. I do have a few weather variations, however, as I said, they are not the most diverse. I assume that I was in spring or summer when I was doing this video, and so the heavy storms, I didn't get any of them, and the rain and snow that I did get was quite light. But as you can see, both mods do a nice job of lighting the atmosphere. They both do a great job illuminating the clouds, and Obsidian here actually lowers the draw distance by using a atmospheric fog effect to actually still feel like you're seeing far into the distance, but kind of tones down the amount of detail that you can see through that fog. And as you can see, the ocean horizon is also blurred as well, so you don't get that sudden scene. These weathers are captured as usual, exact same time of day. They're both exactly the same save states, just with the two different mods equipped. So I'm not too sure how it works. I assume that to some degree they are both the same weather profiles. However, obviously, because they're two separate mods, it all depends on how those two mods handle each of the weather sets. But when it comes to the atmospheric lighting, Obsidian Weathers and Seasons to me was a clear winner. As you can see here, that is an absolutely great job. We've got that atmospheric fog coming into play, but obviously as the sun's setting or rising over in the horizon there, you can see the clouds are nicely illuminated. And although this screen looks a bit drab, you will actually see the sunrise over the mountains there, and you can see the way it slowly starts to illuminate the clouds, and it has also got its own atmospheric fog effect going on there. So both mods do a great job, especially when you consider the actual size of them. Aequinoctium is about 4 megabytes, and Obsidian is even smaller at 400 odd kilobytes. So really these are going to have, almost zero impact onto your load order, but you do get some great effects. I'm a big fan of natural and atmospheric Tamriel, and also the ELEFX, enhanced lights and effects mods. These two mods by themselves definitely rival the level of lighting when it comes to the atmosphere than those two mods, so I was pleasantly surprised at the actual detail in the lights. Obviously the sun illuminating the atmosphere around you and the clouds as well. So as you can see, the last few screens we've had have mainly been focusing on looking at fog, how fog is handled, and both of them are pretty good. I would say, as I said at the beginning of the video, that I am leaning more towards Obsidian for the more vivid looking lights, as it were. It looks a lot more dynamic with the Obsidian mod. But here we are in bright broad daylight. So one of the main things you're going to see is a saturation change between these two mods. So obviously this is Obsidian, looks nice and natural, and then you get a slight increase in saturation there with the Aequinoctium. I'm just going to call it Aqua, okay? I'm just stop tripping over the name. So as you can see, there is a lot more colour there. Doesn't look as natural as Obsidian, although there's certainly nothing wrong with that. If you're gonna have, you know, bright sun, then you're gonna expect it to be very vivid. You were looking down on a valley, and one of the main things that Obsidian does really well is how it obscures your view distance. As I said, it does use fog and clouds to kind of stop you seeing so far, but without you feeling like there's a sudden drop off on view distance. And the Aqua mod kind of does the same thing, although I do feel that it does feel a little colder in the lighting. There's a lot more blues there than there was in the Obsidian one, but as I said, although these should be the same weather patterns, it's not guaranteed, and it is down to how each of the mods handle the weather patterns. And there we go, nice bright sunlight, and you can see how those clouds come into effect to kind of obscure the really distant ones, but it does look really nice with those trees poking through the clouds there. I am using Forests of the Bella, so the trees are twice the size that they are in the vanilla game, and that's a really nice shot. I like that. And here we are with the Aqua mod, as I'm calling it. As I said again, it does seem to have a lot more blues in the atmosphere. The clouds aren't as dense, which may work for you, but still quite a nice effect. It does look a bit dimmer there, but again, I can't guarantee that it's exactly the same weather profile as Obsidian. And here we are again on a bright sunny day. We can see that the sun is blooming behind the clouds there. One of the things you're going to see when we bring in the Aequinoctium mod is that, again, it doesn't look as bright as Obsidian, a little dimmer, as we'll see when it comes in a moment. There you go. So again, it is a little dimmer there, although we do know that it can do very bright days because the shot from Solitude before has a lot more saturation in the colours than Obsidian. So hopefully soon we're going to start to see some different types of weather other than foggy and sunny. Again, I just have to say I apologise that I haven't got the most varied types of weather. I did try my best, I promise you. I didn't just shoot this video out very quick. I did spend several hours walking around, waiting to try and get some variations on weather. And there we can see the rain there is a lot lighter than on Obsidian, probably because the weather profiles are slightly different, but both of them have got thunder and lightning, and we can hear the sound effects are pretty good on Aequinoctium there. definitely seem to be a bit more vivid than Obsidian's sound effects, but Obsidian's lightning was that bit more brighter. It was very bright flashes. And here we are again with even more sunny weather. Like I said, I can only assume that the months I was in was during spring or summer, because there was just a complete lack of downpours and summer snowfalls and stuff like that. So I waited 3 months to go into the next season and really didn't get any different types of weather at all. I know I can't really make an informed opinion because I haven't seen the full array of weathers on both of these mods. However, I think personally I would just stick with a more standard weather mod that didn't necessarily do seasons. It is all very well and fine, the fact that you have that extra level of immersion, having seasons to break up the year, but you know, as I said, you've got to wait 90 days per time to go into the next season, which can take quite a lot of time gameplay wise. So I would rather have a more varied weather pattern constantly than having it broken up into seasons. But to those people who want that, I can fully understand, like I said, having that extra level of immersion. I think it would come into play quite nicely with the survival mod or any of the other survival mods in the App Store, because App Store in the mod store, because that would be something that you'd have to take into consideration. So obviously during the winter months it's going to be a lot more difficult for you to stay warm, and in the summer months you don't have to worry about it so much. So I can kind of see it coming into play there, but even still I think it would be horrible to go through the winter months with a survival mod, constantly trying to stay warm. But some people like that. I certainly like more immersion in the game. Just I personally wouldn't go for that, but as I said, wouldn't blame anyone who does. So yeah, for me I would just stick with a more standard weather mod that you can go from heavy snowfall to bright sunny weather just by changing location and not really having to worry about seasons. So this pretty much brings us to the end of this absolute catastrophe of a video. I dread to see what the comments are gonna be like. I'm gonna take some heavy flack for this one, I know. Just before we go, both mods do add a variety of new weathers, up to 65 weathers for both of them. So the pitiful amount that I've shown you here today isn't all of them. However, as I said, you will have to wait large gaps between the seasons to have the varied weather. So thanks for watching if you've stuck around this long. I apologise this video wasn't as good as usual. You can request mods in the comments. Please don't do what the doc did and just do a number on me and request season mods again. But other than that, thanks to the doc for suggesting this video, and I'll see you next time.